Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show.
That Hope Solo fan is asking, what's my opinion on makeup? Now, she's asking my opinion because I gave a video about high heels and how toxic they are for the body. Physically, emotionally, and spiritually, high heels are not good for the body. But she was asking what I thought about makeup for women and girls' makeup. And as for makeup, definitely it's one of the most toxic things people put on and in their body on a regular basis. And it's one of the most useless things because we don't need makeup if we're eating a healthy diet and you know our skin will look fine and we're going to look great. Makeup is just an obsession people have because they care too much about what other people think and less about their health. I would say 90% of the makeup used on a regular basis have chemicals in there that are toxic to the human body. So if you are going to wear makeup, at least wear natural makeup. There's some makeup made with like natural minerals, bare essential minerals, and things like this that have non-harmful ingredients to those makeups. But mascara has rat droppings in it, and that's not as toxic as some of the other toxicity in there, but it's just disgusting. But lipstick has heavy mercuries in there and many other chemicals. If you can't put it in your body, don't put it on your body. But if you put it on your body, it's going in your body. There's a great book that I have on my website called Toxic Beauty. And I definitely recommend you get that book. And you'll think twice about wearing makeup. But again, I know some of the most beautiful women in the world who don't wear makeup. Of course, my wife would be at the top of that list. But really, you do not need makeup. I don't recommend it. It gives a false, not only is it toxic physically, but it just gives a false impression of who you really are. And it just does. And you don't need makeup. And if you're somebody who's so obsessed with makeup, I'm not saying it's a lack of security about your looks, but I'm just saying it's a lack of security about your looks. Don't get mad at me now if you're watching this, because I know the obsession that many people have out there, and I want to say women, but unfortunately today men also have with makeup. And one of the best compliments I ever got from one of my lectures is I have a whole lecture on how bad makeup is. And, at the end of my lecture, the next day I gave another lecture and somebody came to me and she was practically crying with joy. And she said, this is the first time in 10 years I walked out of my house without makeup. And it felt so freeing. And she just thanked me for really being so strong and not worrying about what people are going to say about what I'm saying or how I'm offending people, and just being strong to speak the truth. And she said, I know she knows I offended some people, and some people weren't going to listen to me because I told them how bad makeup is. But she told me she needed to hear those hard words to really for it to sink in. And she didn't wear makeup. And she felt great, And this was a lady who went out of her house to throw the garbage out. She had to put on makeup. That's how bad it was. So let's ditch that makeup, everybody, and and you're gonna have a much better time. So no high heels, no makeup, and no shaving. I'm sure I'm a big fan of everyone out there now. No, I'm a big fan of nature and living natural. And you don't have to be some so-called hippie to do those things, or somebody that doesn't look professional to do those things. I know people that they have they're very professional, they look fine, and they don't do any of those things. So you can be one of those things. People might say, well, it doesn't fit in society. I have a job to go to, so I have to wear makeup, or I can't shave my legs because I have to wear short skirts because I'm in the business world, or I have to wear high heels because I'm under a certain height and everything else. Understand, everybody, all of this is a perception of the world, and if you have to wear high heels and a short skirt and makeup to be accepted at your job, or even be allowed to have your job, something is wrong with that job. It's nothing wrong with you. You should be allowed to cover up your body, cover up your legs, walk in flat heels or walk in flats, and not wear any makeup. But when somebody's saying, and let's take it to the next level, deodorant. Deodorant is bad for the bodies. These toxic underarm deodorants and everything else. People say, well, I don't want to go around smelling. Well, I understand that. Well, if you're not eating unhealthy foods and living an unhealthy lifestyle in an unhealthy environment, chances are you won't smell unhealthy. If I can, just be honest and tell everyone here, I pretty much never use soap. Very rarely do I use soap. And I live in Florida where it's hot outside. I perspire often, but the odor is just not there often unless, there was something that was eaten that was processed or something else that wasn't ideally best. But, overeating was taking place. But people that don't use soap or deodorants, I use Thai crystals, which keep the underarm pretty much, nice. You don't have to have these toxic antiperspirant sprays and all these other things. And perfume is another thing. Perfume is one of the most toxic things you could put in your body. You say you don't put it in your body, but you put it on your body, but it gets in your body. Essential oils are wonderful, natural, and they're healthy externally and internally. But again, it's just the world we live in today, the perception we have of the world today, and everything else. And, here I am in Australia right now, and it's a little different. I'm in Australia right now, and it's amazing. I mean, a beard is I've seen just as many people with beards out here now as clean shaven. You see, in the United States, they have an obsession with shaving. They shave their whole bodies. They shave their faces, their legs, their underarms, and everything else. And women, ask yourself, why do you shave your legs but you don't shave your arms? Because it's a society thing. Now, of course, I know some people do shave their arms, but again, it's a society thing. But when you go to the other place of the world, it's not as big of an obsession unless somebody's working at a job or in society somewhere where they have to fit in or fit the model or something else. Well, people, no matter how you look, no matter how you dress, no matter how you act, there's always going to be somebody out there that's not pleased with the way you appear. So you might as well do what you truly believe in. Now, if you truly feel you need to wear high heels and makeup and shave and all this, and that's what makes you feel good inside, and that's what you need for you, not for anyone else, then go ahead and do it. But don't do it for other people. And many people deceive themselves by saying they're doing it for themselves when they're really doing it for other people. Because if no one's around, they don't do it. It's when people are around that they do it. And women, don't tell me you're putting makeup on for your husbands because you're not getting up 3 hours before your husband to do your hair and put on your makeup. Many times you're doing it for the world. So we have to be careful. And I just... I feel so great to have so many friends out there that just live natural and they just don't do these things. And they set such a great example for myself on how to live my life. And I'm telling you, I do know some people, they let themselves go and they might be a little sloppy according to the world, but they're happy with that and themselves. But there are other people that don't do these things and they're very, very... well groomed, even though they don't. I let my beard grow and it's a little wild out there, but I know people that have beards as big as mine, and just like somebody would get a haircut, they get a beard cut, and it's trimmed and it's very nice and so on. And if that's what pleases somebody, that's great, but don't think, it's a sloppy thing. Years ago, it was most of the presidents of the United States and most of the politicians had beards. So this isn't just a thing today of, it's just a cultural thing today where people look at beards in a different way, at least in the United States. I was just in, when I got to Australia, I did something most people don't do out here. What I did was I wanted to go look at the other cultures, so I went to the Indian community, I went to the Muslim community, and I'm going to be going visiting the Jewish community, and I see all these people with beards and dressed, in certain ways, in different ways. And within those communities, they're accepted as fine. But once they go out of the community, they're accepted as different or accepted as weird or so on. And it's just, that's how they're looked upon. But it's just a cultural thing and a society thing out there. And, we have to just think, well, what makes the most sense for us? And the most sense for me is I'm speaking here in a hat, and I'm wearing a little coat, shirt here, and I have my beard. To me, that's the way it should be. I'm respecting you out there. I'm not on this camera half naked, wearing a bikini, or my shirt off, or just disrespecting you and your family by just, not caring about, covering up my own body and all this other stuff. But for me, those are my values, and those are what I believe. But if you believe different, if you believe running around half naked is the way to go and what we should be doing, then you go ahead and you do that. But do it for yourself, not for other people. Don't do it because you're looking around and everyone else is doing it, so you want to fit in, so you start doing that also. Same thing with diet. Don't start eating a healthy diet or a vegetarian diet because everyone else is doing it or because a lot of people are doing it that you know. Do it because you understand it and you know that it's best for you. That's the reason you're supposed to do something. So you want to, just get some understanding and, and get some strength and do what you believe is best, and you'll be fine. All right, everybody, let's move on to the next question. I went on enough about that. Thank you for that question so much.